Linda Rutherford is a communications expert. She's really guided Southwest to being one of those admired brands in the world.
She's someone who we genuinely think of as a leader in the field. And she's someone who is deeply respected amid the people who practice this work every day.
Her leadership skill set is outstanding. Linda, in her learning to be the leader that she is today, came to see how important it was to make sure that your people feel taken care of.
One of the things that I respect a lot about Linda is that she's a former journalist. She's grounded in those journalistic values, and that really drives, I think, the transparency and the honesty and the ethical communication throughout her work.
She understands how the public thinks, and she understands how journalists think, and she's able to make sure that when she's telling the story, she tells it in a way that's going to be accepted.
Really being an early adopter of the idea that they could tell their own stories, it's like, really? Wow.
Back in the day, you put out a press release and then you see how many clips you get from that. How many stories were picked up, how many newspapers and other places reported on it. And Linda early on decided that wasn't enough. She really valued the idea of measurement. She was early in the idea of analytics and SEO and really set the stage for what is industry practice now.
After a devastating week for Southwest, this morning the airline says it's finally ready to take flight.
You just spoke directly with the CEO of Southwest Airlines. Did you get any explanation at all for this horrendous meltdown of epic proportions?
We are going to be putting Southwest Airlines under a microscope in terms of their delivering these kinds of reimbursements and refunds to passengers.
Often when organizations go through a crisis, they don't really want to talk about it afterward. She has been very public about talking through what happened, what they learned, what they're going to improve.
After pretty much 8 days of nonstop negative, this is the worst thing ever to happen to Christmas since planes were invented. Shows you the robustness of her operation, her skill, her level of skill, and also the loyalty of her people and her customers.
One of the things that we do in all of our PR classes is have case studies. And normally those case studies are something where something went horribly wrong. With Southwest, one of the beautiful things about Linda's work is, yes, she's had some really challenging situations, but the case study would be, how do you take those and make something good out of it? She's really mastered the art of taking a crisis and figuring out a way through it.
Whenever we get into any crisis moment, the guiding principles for us are compassion and action.
She is exemplifying to anybody who's following her career what we want the field to be and what we want our students to see the field being.
What I see in Linda is someone who not only has led a company that has an extremely valued, responsible brand that we all recognize, but also someone who's worked very hard and gone out of her way to help elevate the public relations profession and elevate the work of strategic communicators. She's doing her job in a way that helps people understand the benefits of strategic communication for society. And I can't think of a higher calling and a higher aspiration for what we do as a profession.